All right, so if you did not see my first video on the law of the flag, please go back and watch it because the rest of this is about to make sense. It's about to get juicy. All right, so the Jolly Roger says that if you come across a flag that is not recognized in international law, basically it's a pirate's flag. Now, this is important because we're about to talk about gold fringe. Now, when we think about gold fringe, you go into a Supreme Court, any Supreme Court, and they are flying a flag in that courtroom, it is going to have gold fringe on it. The reason being is gold fringe is a signifier that Great Britain is involved, okay? Right? So this should be bringing some of my prior videos about judges, lawyers, you know, people who have pledged an oath and taken the bar exam. Those people, that this should be bringing this full circle. In the Supreme Court, all of the American flags are going to have gold fringe on them because it should tell you that you are now in the jurisdiction of the high C, which is Great Britain. Okay, so let's talk about gold fringe. So anytime a flag has gold fringe on it, it mutilates the flag, right? And under Title IV USC 3 carries a 1-year prison sentence. The gold fringe, when placed on a Title IV USC 3 flag, represents the color of law. Taja, what do you mean by mutilates the flag? That means that if that flag is present, the Constitution is suspended, meaning that whatever you think your constitutional rights are out of the door. If you see that gold fringe, that means that you are under the color of law, which means that you are underneath their jurisdiction. This is not an American flag. This is a pirate's flag. You remember in my other videos, I said you need to know piracy laws because what is happening is we leave our trust abandoned when we admit in court that we're the trustee by saying we're guilty or we're not guilty because we're not supposed to make decisions for the trust as the beneficiary. Once you make a plea, then you are admitted to being the trustee. You're leaving your trust abandoned, and these pirates, who are the federal government, can come into your trust and ravish and pillage it. In the highest courts in this country, we have an American flag with gold fringe. The gold fringe mutilates and suspends the Constitution. It is a pirate's flag. You should know that by just looking at the room. Okay, so this is Army Regulation 260-10. It states that the gold fringe may be used only on regimental colors, the president's flag, for military courts martials, and for the flag used at military recruiting centers. So if you do not wish to contract with these courts, you must challenge jurisdiction. Do not go in there arguing their statutes, rules, regulations, or whatever it is that they're trying to put on you. You have to challenge their jurisdiction. Another piece of case law is called Gertie versus Logan. It is an elementary rule of pleading that a plea to the jurisdiction is a tacit admission that the court has a right to judge in the case and is a waiver to all exemptions to the jurisdiction. So this means that a plea, you have waived your right to challenge jurisdiction the moment that you enter a plea. So basically, here's what you need to know about this. Until you put in a plea, you have not waived your right to challenge jurisdiction. But the moment that you put in a plea, you have, and you are no longer under constitutional law. A lot of time judges will say, if you don't put in a plea, I'm going to put in a plea for you. However, they are not allowed to do this. So you have to say, no, you are not my attorney and I do not give you permission to do that. And you also cannot practice law from the bench. Moral of the story, if you do not challenge jurisdiction, you are assumed to be underneath their law and they'll be able to do whatever the fuck they want to you. But if you do raise the question of jurisdiction, they have an obligation to address it under sua sponte. And just like that, you're welcome.